god, this thing is terrible. God, I bought this for £1, fucking Poundland, obviously, because I'm a student, I can't afford much, so I just got these stupid decorations. Poundland, and it's so shit. I was hoping it'd be so much better. Get out of here, little shit. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Nerk Vlogs, or as I like to call it now, Nerktober? I don't know if that works. Comment down below, do you like the idea of it being called Nerktober? I don't know, for me personally, I find it works, but see what you guys think. You can see it's the first vlog of October, and I've got some decorations a little bit. I got Skelly Bob Thornton, I'll show you him. I called him Skelly Bob Thornton because he looks very Skelly Bobby. I'm going to get more decorations, I am going to get more. I've got some spider webs here at the moment to hang over my wardrobe. But as like the vlogs go on, I will progressively fill this space up with more decorations. I still got my Supernatural poster. I thought that would be quite relevant. I don't know if you can see the sunshine on it a little bit. And obviously, as well, I've got this this nice Harley Quinn toy that I got from Loot Crate. That was it. I got there in the end, which was quite nice. I thought it would be quite a nice touch to put a Harley Quinn toy in here. As you can probably tell, the theme of this month, all month, is going to be something to do with horror. It's going to be horror-ish. Considering, you know, this whole month I'm playing horror games on the channel, and I'm playing and I'm vlogging horror stuff. So I thought today's theme would be quite good to talk about would be horror films. As a film student myself, you know, one of the reasons why I took film and television and did this at higher education is because of horror movies. I mean, I've been engrossed into them for so long. They are it probably was the thing that drove me to do my degree. So, you know, horror films to me, they mean a lot, and I love watching them. And me and my housemate have been watching horror films this past month. Not this past month, this past like couple of weeks. I think last night we watched Halloween. A couple of nights ago we watched Night of the Living Dead, which is the 1950s one, not the more recent one, but the 1950s one, which was 1960s, sorry. So the original one. But it was very good to say the least, considering how old a horror film it is. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the recent years for horror films have been pretty naff. I mean, 2000 horror movies haven't been like the classics, like the classic horror movies. For me, horror movies, I remember back to like, well, I don't remember, but I watched like 70s and 80s horror movies and some 90s as well. I feel like all the conventions of a horror movie were developed within that time period. It was a very big time for horror movies, I thought. So, you know, that's when I think back, and that's why I engrossed myself into old horror movies rather than more recent ones. I make this a list actually of horror films that if you want to watch, you know, over the course of this month. Halloween's a good one. Basically where the Michael Myers series started off was Halloween. It is a very good horror film. It definitely has all the conventions that you would expect a horror movie to have, but it's still today it manages to generate fear and scares people, which is the sign of a good horror movie. If a horror movie that's like, what was it? It was 70s, I think. So it's like a horror movie that's now probably like 40 odd years old. You know, if it's still scaring people today, it's a good film. That is the sign of a good horror film. It is a relatively slow-paced film, but that is what makes it, I think. Well, for me anyway. It's just the tension. It's the tension and the fear and the build-up. Like, I think there's one shot where Michael Myers is in the house, and Laurie, the main character, is in another house, and she needs to go to that house because she needs to know something going on. And I think there's probably about a minute shot or a minute sequence of just the background music, and just walking over to this house, and it keeps panning back from the shot to her face, and it's very slow, like the way it moves, but it's perfect because it's that suspense that you expect from a horror film, and fear comes with that suspense. So that's something that horror film manages to do, and it does really well. There's other moments in that film that are perfect as well. So if you're looking for a horror film to watch, that's a pretty decent one to watch. Another one would be another John Carpenter film, you know, because Halloween was John Carpenter. Another one would be The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing, the 1980s one, not the one in the 30s or the 40s, or I can't remember when it was. 40s, no, 50s. It was the 50s, I think. Fuck. I don't talk about like the plot too much because I don't want to ruin it if you haven't seen the films. But they've done the special effects. It's all, I don't know. It seems so real, but so weird as well. It seems real, but it isn't. But the way it moves about, the way they move the aliens about, is just so frantic and very inhuman. Obviously, I mean they need that, but it's done in such a way that it's very abnormal. It's not pleasing to the eye. It's very displeasing. So that the way that that's done, you know, is perfect. So if you're looking for that kind of shit, you know, I would recommend that. If you're looking for something a bit lighter than these films, I would recommend Scream. Obviously, I mean that film is a pastiche. It's a pastiche, which basically, you know, it's basically everything that you would expect in a horror movie. But it's not too scary. There is a lot of elements of comedy in there because it takes the piss out of itself quite a bit as well. Like throughout the whole, forget Scream 4, fuck that. I mean Scream 1, 2, and 3, the trilogy, takes the piss out of itself all the way through. And it's very interesting to see those things. If you're looking for something that's a bit lighter, not as scary, but still scary, but also it's got elements of comedy in there, you know, that's a good film to choose as well. I've mentioned like Night of the Living Dead, but George A. Romero, I actually saw him at Comic-Con, because I went to, earlier this year I went to Brighton Film Comic-Con. And he was there, and I didn't get his autograph or anything because I already wanted John Hurt's autograph, which was expensive enough. But you know, George A. Romero was there, and I did see him. It was very interesting to see him, such a legendary horror director. But anyway, he did Night of the Living Dead, and he's done so many horror films over the past. He is a horror film legend. So you know, anything from George A. Romero. If you like zombies, you like zombies. Okay, like anything like that, you know, he is the person to go to. Like most of his films, I say most, you know, because a lot of them aren't particularly great, but most of the horror films he's done, you know, are brilliant. They're so good. Like he knows exactly what to do, and obviously with his background and stuff, like throughout history, he knows what to do. So that's something for your lovelies to check out. That it was kind of, here's some films, I'm just going to talk about them just a little bit at a time. Well, the thing is, I haven't had a lot of time to organise this vlog, so I just kind of put together quickly some stuff to talk about and just rambled for a little bit. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of time, but, you know, unfortunately I didn't have a lot of time to put much together, but I've given you some suggestions for horror films to talk about. As I said, I'm going to be adding to this background as well. I might add some like film posters as well. Well, probably not small ones, big ones, like small ones. So small horror film posters put up, because I really wanted to get some of those classic posters to put up and stuff like that, because there's some brilliant ones that are out there that just look unbelievable. So it's probably worth it, just like slapping one up here. Just a nice small one. I don't know, maybe like Nightmare on Elm Street there. In other news, what is coming to the channel? Well, I can tell you that this week I will be doing Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location when it comes out on the 7th, I think it comes out on the 7th, I could be wrong. If I am, then I'm sorry, but I think it comes out on the 7th on Steam anyway, of October, so I'm probably going to buy it the day it comes out, and then record it the day, and then I might upload it the same day or the next day. Don't know yet, one or the other, but either way, as soon as I get it, I really want to play it. Also, another game that I forgot to put on the list that I will be playing is Gears of War 4, because that comes out on the 11th, which is next Tuesday, and I'm getting it next Tuesday because I pre-ordered it because I'm a scrub. I don't think there's anything else, so thank you all so much for watching this episode. Please like, comment, subscribe, I'll really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye! Subscribe. Otherwise, Skelly Bob Thornton will break you. Do it.